Grey's Anatomy, the most iconic binge-worthy drama, is back, along with answers to the biggest cliffhangers. Will Teddy survive? Will Joe and Link finally find happiness together? Meredith returns along with fan faves like Arizona. You can now stream every episode of Grey's ever on Hulu, and new episodes next day. Watch new episodes of Grey's Anatomy Thursdays at 9/8 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
This
Ladies
is the What
and
Are We
gentlemen,
Doing podcast.
welcome back to the What Are We Doing podcast. My name is Levi McCurdy, and this is episode 134. We're cruising right along. We're catching right on up to the big boys. We've been doing this for 134 weeks now, people. How do we feel? Are we good? It's been a slow week, okay? We got some BS excuse from the Royals, like, you're not going to see Kate till after April. She still needs to recover from the surgery. Like, we kind of just let all that go. And now we've got nothing to talk about for presumably the next 3 days. Nothing happened this week. Nothing crazy went down. I mean, we got a few HBO drops. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about it in a minute. But, you know, So here's the thing, dude. I've been wanting to talk about this for the last few weeks. It's still a story that's relevant. I mean, and it's not really even a story. It's just something that's happening on the planet that maybe not some people aren't aware of. Listen, if you don't know about Mrs. Peaches, if you don't know about Miss Peaches, she's the latest, the greatest, the ultimate dog, the best thing to ever happen to a man. She is Miss Peaches. And if you don't know, now you do. Listen, so Dave Portnoy went out and adopted this dog. He went to this shelter that rescues the abused animals, of course, yada, yada. Adopt, don't shop is the message here. So now Dave Portnoy's got this new beautiful, beautiful pit bull, and her name is Miss Peaches. And if you haven't seen the TikToks, just search, get on TikTok while you still can and search Miss Peaches in the search bar. And if you're telling me that this isn't the most absolutely adorable thing you've ever seen.
Hi. Good morning.
Then I don't know what is, right? It's just a man who has the money and the time to adopt and love this dog. And don't get me wrong, if you go back far enough, go to the very beginning, go to the very first Miss Peaches video and go all the way back and then start it. If you have time to watch 50 episodes of Teresa Risa get lied to, now she's got an agent, now she's got a book coming, she's definitely going to have a docuseries or something coming soon thanks to that. If you got time to watch all her bullshit, then you've got time to go back and learn the chronological history of Dave Portnoy and Miss Peaches. So she's taken over. And of course, Dave uses his influence to not only sell merch and shirts with Miss Peaches' face on it and messages, you know, the whole adopt, don't shop is on there. You can get it. And all of the proceeds in a Dave Portnoy fashion, all the proceeds of that merch line goes back to the shelter that Miss Peaches came from. And wouldn't you know it, they've already raised and wrote a check for $500,000. A cool $500,000. A cool $500,000 that we've donated to this shelter. So, I mean, it's just adorable. Now, don't get me wrong. Miss Peaches has a lot of work to go, but has been putting in the work as well. She's a bad dog. Okay. She's eating the hats. She's eating multiple TV remotes. She's eating the sunglasses. She chewed up the wallet. She's chewing up everything she's not supposed to. But on the flip side of it all, Dave has the patience for her, and he's doing it right. He's taught her how to go down the stairs. Dave Portnoy's taught the dog how to fetch, how to play with toys. But you know what I mean? She's still a dog. She still pisses him off from time to time. That's what Lou Bug does. You know what I mean? Where's Lou Bug? Probably sleeping. He's probably downstairs on the bed right now, sleeping, not doing anything constructive. So it's just the dogs will be dogs, but it's adorable. And I mean, honestly, listen, this is why if you're an SPCA, if you volunteer at one, if you run one, if you have a shelter, a training facility, a pet shop, whatever, like if your job is to take rescued or abandoned or abused, or if whatever it is, if your job is to take animals out of the shelter and put them in the home, not the puppy mills, not the barns out in the part of the state that we all know where people go to get the dogs, not them. But if you're doing rescue work, rehabilitation, getting the dogs off the streets and into a loving, caring situation, this is why social media and influencer marketing is key. Listen up. If you're in any charge, if you are in charge or have any pull at a shelter that deals with rescue dogs, you need to go to whoever is in charge right now and tell them that you need to do nonstop research on any local influencers that might potentially be able to adopt a dog from you. You know what I mean? Now listen, that's probably not what the shelter that Miss Peach's intent was, okay? It was probably just a situation, Dave adopted or whatever. But what I'm telling you is if you run and operate a dog shelter where it is your job to get the sheltered dogs off the streets and into people's homes, you should be spending every minute of your free time sending DMs and cold emails to influencers, to anyone that has 5,000 to 50,000 followers on Instagram in your town, in your local area, in the realm of central Pennsylvania. Anyone who has that type of pool on Instagram, message them, leave them comments, send them DMs, bother them nonstop saying, hey, we've got a dog that would fit you perfectly. Hey, come adopt our dog. We're going to waive that fee for you. Hey, we really like what you're doing on Instagram. We would love to see you happy with Bruno, our bulldog that we would love for you to adopt. It would be perfect for your house. You know exactly what they're doing. You know exactly where they are because they're Instagram influencers. So you can target them specifically on location. You could find them based on interest. You could find them in any way, Facebook groups, TikTok. Use the tools that are free and at your disposal to find these people and send 100 DMs a week, 100 DMs a day, 100 DMs a month. Trust me, there are people in your area who have pull on social media who would love a free dog. And so once you then get that dog into that right person's hand, it's not going to be instant. You're going to have to send messages, meet with people, interview. Are you sure you want this dog? Yes, sign on the dotted line. It's done. You're going to have to work towards it. But once you find someone, then you have them post non-stop. You get photos of them with the dog. You get videos of them with the dog. You take them to the park. You say, hey, part of our process for the adoption is we have to go to the park for an hour and you have to play with the dog and we walk them around. And that's how you get to know the dog to make sure we're a good fit. When you go to that park with the influencer that you're giving it to, have two people there, phones, video, camera, photos, pictures of them with the dog. So once the adoption inevitably goes through, we now have an hour at the park worth of footage, photos, videos, posts, captions. Don't have captions? Use ChatGPT. It's free. Tell them exactly what you want to generate and it'll do it for you. And so once you then use their audience, leverage their audience to get the word out, the mission about your shelter, about your SPCA, about what you do, about your mission, and most importantly, the rest of the damn dogs that are adoptable, and you utilize this influencer's audience. Not only did the shelter that Dave got Miss Peaches from benefit financially, of course, that just came As a bonus on the back end, it just so happens that Dave owns a massive conglomerate, multi-billion-dollar company that has an entire merch shop situation going on within it. So that was just a bonus given on the backside. But a few posts on Instagram that says, hey, I got this wonderful dog from this shelter. I got this wonderful dog from Kathy down at the rescue. People will come. Your dogs will be adopted. Your mission will be fulfilled. If you haven't considered influencer marketing for your organization, what are you waiting for? Get to it. Because if it's the cost of getting one of your dogs adopted into a home, that's it. It's free. You don't have to pay Kim Kardashian $50,000 for the post. It's free. It costs you a dog. They're getting adopted. It's a win-win for them. It's a win-win for you. You get recognition. They get a boost in followers. So do you. Everyone now knows about their shelter. And whenever they need a dog, whenever their friends need a dog, they're going to say, where did Mackenzie go? Where did that girl that I follow? Oh, yeah, she went here and got her awesome dog. That's right, Toto. We love him. He's in the TikToks all the time. Now you're set up for success. So if you're not DMing influencers to adopt your dogs, this is the way to go. This is your portfolio piece. This is Exhibit A. Dave Portnoy and Miss Peaches, I get it. He's a millionaire. He can afford to buy her $800 strollers and Gucci raincoats and anything else that he might want to get the damn dog. But you don't got to do that for yours. But at the end of the day, if you can find someone with enough influence, reach out, see if you can't make something happen, and use that audience pool, that social media. People love dogs. People love dogs. Anytime I post a Lou Bug, the clip gets thousands of views. Everybody loves dogs. I'm gonna probably put a shot of Lou Bug in here right now, just to make it, a little bit better. Say I could talk about Lou Bug, and I'll hopefully get 10 to 15 extra views this week on the podcast. You know what I mean? So if you're not obsessed with Dave Portnoy and Miss Peaches, get on it. Fill your algorithm up, get your TikTok feed going, and just be obsessed. However else you feel about the man, that's besides the point. But when it comes to him and the dog, it's great. It's obviously a great relationship. So here's the thing. I love it when the hometown's in the news, babe. We did it. We did it again. When Pennsylvania's in the news, it's going to be a good day. And sometimes the news is good. Sometimes people are in jail. Sometimes people are doing weird shit. Sometimes it's just news about when we're going to get a Dave's Hot Chicken and eventually a Raising Cane's, or the old hotel was on the Carlisle Pike. Sometimes the news is that, we're going to get a new axe throwing place over in the Camp Hill, Mechanicsburg area. So that's coming soon. The news isn't always all bad. But sometimes the news comes and it gets a little weird. And these are the reasons why there are some fast food establishments that we try to avoid. And there's some we go to on a daily, bi-daily, weekly, monthly, all the time basis. You know what I mean? And some of those fast food, like Arby's, I don't mess with Arby's anymore. I know you can go back to later episodes of this podcast and be like, Levi, you were out here preaching Arby's. You said you liked Arby's. Well, guess what? That was episode 37, okay? I barely knew who was the host of this podcast, let alone what we were talking about back then. Don't worry about it. We're here now. Once Arby's gave us that monstrosity of a cheeseburger, you know what I mean? It just wasn't, it stopped for me right then and there. Here's the bottom line of the story is Arby's doesn't have grills, nor did they buy them, nor did they put those cheeseburgers anywhere near a grill, and then they proceeded to hand it to you. So that I didn't really like. And then they started putting cheese on everything, and the fish sandwiches freak me out. And I don't know. It's just a place we haven't been to in a while. Another place that unfortunately I don't frequent enough, just because there's other options in that category that I prefer better, is Chipotle, okay? And they're always trying to charge you extra. You want a little bit more meat. You want any guac at all? Extra. You want a little something extra for that? It's extra. You want to spend a little bit of money on the chips for your bowl or whatever? Extra. So it's just everything's always extra at Chipotle. And I don't like the surprises. I like knowing that my bowl's going to be $4.99 and that's how much it is. But then when you get to the end, it's like, well, you wanted this and you wanted that and you added this. But I thought it was like Subway. You know what I mean? Every time I get extra shit at Subway, they don't tack on an extra $1 to the price. Well, maybe they do now. I haven't been to Subway in 6 months either. So Chipotle has always been one of those interesting places. It comes and goes in waves. You know what I mean? It was popular when Dobrik was popping on YouTube because of him and his collabs. Then it kind of went away. Then it kind of came back. Now it is what it is again. But, when it comes to the citizens and the customers of Camp Hill and central Pennsylvania where I live, we go above and beyond when it comes to our extras, okay? You want a little extra meat with a little extra sour cream on your Chipotle bowl? The manager and staff at the Chipotle right here in our hometown of Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, has got your back. Now, I haven't read the article yet, but I got linked to it. Paul sent me the Reddit post as I was skimming there just to see what maybe it was all about. I heard we're getting national attention. We're getting national attention now at this Camp Hill Chipotle location. I'm going to have to go. There's probably going to be a line wrapped around the damn building. But we're getting national attention because of their new way of adding extra meat and sour cream to the meals that you get. So Camp Hill, we got the article up here, right? This is the article. Yeah. Okay, Cumberland County Chipotle manager charged for alleged lewd acts inside the restaurant. Lewd, what is that? Okay. A manager at the Chipotle restaurant in Camp Hill, Cumberland County, has been charged after allegedly exposing himself to restaurant goers. Oh, shit. According to the Camp Hill Police Department, they took a report back on Monday, March 4th, around 5:30 p.m. So, a decent hour. It wasn't like 10 o'clock at night. He had time to be drunk. This is at a decent hour, 5:30, regarding a non-active indecent exposure incident at the Trindle Road Chipotle. We're just slinging meat at Chipotle, aren't we? That freshly grilled, that fresh meat at Chipotle. You can't get any fresher. During the course of the investigation, police say they discovered that on Friday, March 1st, around 8:05 p.m. Oh, okay, it was a little later. That's weird. A male manager at Chipotle, allegedly exposed himself and proceeded to masturbate while sitting in a booth in view of guests. Now, listen, I don't know what the employee discounts entail at Chipotle, okay? I knew when I worked at Subway, every shift we worked, we could get like a free 6-inch, you know what I mean? They didn't care if we got drinks, and if you wanted chips, the employee discount, it was like $1. So, you could eat free as an employee there. But I'm assuming the extras, like my boss wasn't having it. If I got my free 6-inch and then wanted to take another 6-inch home, I had to pay for it. At least with the employee discount, whatever. There was extras. You still have to pay for your food. Not everything's free. So what I'm assuming happened here was he got his free employee meal, okay? But he wanted a little extra meat and he couldn't afford it. So he started slanging that shit all over the floor of the restaurant. Police say that once Chipotle learned that this manager was under investigation, they suspended the employee with the intent of dismissing him. Camp Hill police say the 26-year-old male was charged with indecent assault, 1 count, indecent exposure, 2 counts of that, open lewdness, 2 counts of that, disorderly conduct, 2 counts of that, and harassment, 2 counts of that as well. Call it a twofer, at the end of the day. Camp Hill police did not release the man's name. However, ABC 27 have reached out to local court. They'll get his name eventually. I get it. I get it. Jobs are stressful, especially as a manager, okay? If you're a manager with multiple employees, okay? I've only got like, I got a few business partners, and like I have like hardly any, I really don't have any employees, so I can't really relate. But what I do relate to is running and operating businesses, being in charge, customers, clients, problems, fires, scheduling, people not showing up. Like, it's just, I understand the pressure. And trust me, that scene in Wolf of Wall Street is 1000% your reality as a high-level manager, supervisor, business owner, operator. You gotta be jerking one out once to twice to 3 times a day. And if you don't, you'll implode internally. And so what most likely happened to this 26-year-old manager at Chipotle, he didn't have time and he didn't have a chance to privately work one out during his day. And so it built up. And that tension rises and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up. And then as there's enough pressure in the tank, you'll just implode. Okay. And once that happens, everything starts to go black. You forget where you are. You think, oh, I'm in my room and I'm in space and I'm okay. And then you just start doing your business in the middle of the booth at the Chipotle that you're currently working at. So I understand how we got here mentally. And I honestly think the judge in this case needs to take that into consideration. And if, as a judge, she or he they probably understand that pressure. It builds up, you start to black out, and next thing you know, you're doing something in public that you're not supposed to be. And that's just where we're at as a society. The pressure on business owners and people in charge. Like, we've got to deal with people coming in and throwing food at us. They got to deal with assholes complaining about the bill. We got to deal with people going in there taking handfuls of forks and stealing the hot sauce bottles and the napkins and trying to get the guac for free. I can only imagine the stress of a Chipotle manager. And I mean, let's be honest, he's probably not making a lot of money. Chipotle, man, let's look that up. Chipotle manager salary. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. General manager. General manager, you're looking at a total of $15 an hour. $15 an hour. And it's Chipotle. So you know for a fact they're not approving any overtime. And so they're probably doing 40 hours a week. What's 40 hours a week times 15 times 52? You're looking at $30,000 a year. What's wrong with that? What's wrong? That should be plenty for anyone to live, to have fun, luxury, to relieve their stress at any time. I mean, that's, it's almost $20,000. And if you can't make $20,000 stretch for the period of 12 to 18 months, and I mean, that's before taxes. So, I mean, after taxes, yeah, you're looking at about 20. You're looking at about 20 grand a year. What's the problem? Why are you stressed out? They're paying you for your work to the point where you've got to jerk one off in booth 19. You knew it was a good booth. You knew there were people sitting over there. And so this is what we can expect. This is what we deal with here in central Pennsylvania. You thought Florida was bad? You thought Florida was the state with all the weirdo psycho people doing crazy stuff? I'm pretty sure the guy from Pennsylvania who was selling like human body parts and like animal bodies and like skulls and bones and jars and shit on Facebook Marketplace just got convicted. I'm pretty sure that court case kind of like fell through or whatever. So, it's fun. It's fun times at Chipotle. Well, and of course we couldn't get by this week's episode without talking about the HBO drop. Whether you have HBO Max or not, social media has done just a wonderful job. It's one of the many reasons why we shouldn't get rid of TikTok in this country, silly lawmakers, because that means I don't have to watch things in full. And it means I don't have to go to the movies, because 9 times out of 10, the movies will be on TikTok like the next day anyway. So that's a plus. So if you haven't seen it or heard, there's a new HBO doc, I think it's a 4-episode drop called Quiet on Set. And it's basically the hit piece, the downfall, the truth, the story behind the scenes, pull back, look through the curtain of what happened pretty much on every Nickelodeon show that Dan Schneider was involved with. Now, we've kind of known about Dan for a minute now. Jennette McCurdy put the book out a few years ago. She didn't directly name him, but it was like, pretty much everything that she's ever done has been with Dan Schneider. So, I mean, it's out there. But basically all of the weirdness and potentially and pretty much inappropriate stuff that has come to light was just kind of highlighted in this doc. And so they focused on like 3 or 4 key things, pretty much just the main stars of his shows. One of which was Amanda Bynes. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation around the Amanda Bynes story. There's this alleged Twitter account by Ashley. There's some other name. It was allegedly Amanda Bynes' fake Twitter account that she was running back in the day that said things like, help me, this is what really happened. They got me pregnant when I was a teenager. All these accusations, but it wasn't under her real name. So some people are calling that account fake. It wasn't actually Amanda. Some people are calling it real. The internet seems split on that. So we're not sure if that information is there or not. But just the whole thing pretty much began with her, from Dan going from all that to the Amanda show with her, and just the things that we've seen, and just now her as a person. I mean, honestly, shout out to Amanda Bynes. I'm pretty sure she's on her way to get her cosmetology license. I'm pretty sure.
Hey everybody, I wanted to let my fans know that I'm taking the board exam to get my manicurist license this Tuesday. I really hope I pass the test this time.
Yeah, okay. So, so that's where she's at now. So she was touched on a lot, in the documentary, not by Dan, So they covered her story a lot. Then, of course, we got the Drake Bell interview, the whole Brian Peck situation, which was just, something we didn't know, and now we do, and now it's all kind of making sense, and things are coming to light. And so what's crazy is, I don't know if we knew this before, but what they told us in the documentary was they petitioned the court in that case once everything that happened with Drake and Brian kind of came to light, and once the lawyers got involved and situated, they subpoenaed the court to release the letters, the character witness letters, right? So when someone's going through something like this, especially if they're the bad guy, what they'll do is they'll get all their friends, their family, anyone that still supports them and believes that either A, they're innocent, or B, they'll get through it and they're a good person and they'll change in the end. And so they write letters to the judge saying, hey, I know Brian. I've known Brian since we were kids. He's a good guy. He would never do something like this. And if he did, he's probably never going to do it again. I really love Brian. He's a member of the team. We love him. Don't give him the death penalty or anything worse than that. And just, we support Brian, and you shouldn't go hard on him in court. And so that's what these letters are all about. So we've got a list of names of people there. It was all of Drake's friends and coworkers, because they were kids and all teenagers at the time. And it was a confusing situation, and just the whole Brian Peck was like the pickle guy. Like, we all remember this shit. We all grew up on these shows. We watched them constantly, back to back to back. All that. Kenan and Kel, the Amanda Show. Then after that, Fairly Odd Parents came on. Then it was the Rugrats. Then it was a new episode of Drake and Josh, sometimes 2 at a time. Like, it was Nickelodeon, late 90s, early 2000s. Dan wrote it all. And then we got our iCarlys. Then we got our Victoria. I mean, it was the time to be alive. And we all were on the Kool-Aid. We were all on the roller coaster, waiting in line to get our shot to watch the shows any chance we got, to the point where we had the DVDs. We had the little Vid Now. Remember Vid Nows? You had an Amanda Show, a 1-episode Drake and Josh, a little mini disc on a little black and white screen that was like an inch thick or wide. And then we watched them all the time, constantly. It was a direct line to what we wanted to do. And so just seeing Drake in that interview and what they went through while we were all experiencing something completely different, like joy and excitement and laughs. And as I'm sure they were as well, it wasn't always rainbows and butterflies, you know what I mean? And then then we get to like the Zoey 101 era, and like that shit popped because it was Jamie Lynn Spears. Britney was big at the time, so it was like, let's go Jamie Lynn. Like, she would, you know what I mean? It was, she's an attractive woman. They all were, and like that was part of Dan's plan. Like, we didn't have a preteen teenager Nickelodeon show with any like not really attractive. Like, that's what we were all into at that time as teenagers. And so we were watching these shows, and it's one of those things that we like didn't realize, because again, it was made for kids. It was for kids. And as kids consuming it, our parents didn't have Twitter. Our parents didn't have Facebook at the time. Our parents didn't have technology or access to the internet like we do now. So they didn't know or could pick up on, or like, wait, what did they say? Oh, it's nothing. It's Nickelodeon. Don't worry about it. Like, there wasn't that awareness of everything under a microscope and within society now. That just it's a very interesting trip through time perspective to look at. And so like when we get to shows like Zoey 101 and we find out that like it was a requirement every episode, you girl, you need to have a skirt on. Where's your skirt? Like, that's a little weird, but it happened. It got approved. We've got executives. We've got people in Nickelodeon and everywhere that pushed it on air and just did what they said to do. And so, like, even some of the disgusting scenes, like with the goo, like the goo pop scene or whatever, and just the actress who was in the scene with Jamie Lynn just explaining that to people, like, it's just the syringe and like the boy laughing, and like it was, yeah, it's funny, but like now it kind of seems fucked up, you know? And so it's not good, not looking good for Dan Schneider. Whether his supporters are there, whether he still has friends in the industry, I don't know what he's doing now today. But basically it's not a situation that anyone wants to really talk about, be a part of. I mean, of course, and so he had to rebuttal. There had to have been a rebuttal. So like literally like 48, 72 hours after like this doc comes out, shout out to HBO, I guess. Dan's on a podcast with a guy, K Boogie, I think his nickname is, and he was one of the actors, I think, on iCarly. So that's kind of meta in a sense. I don't know, that it's weird. But so, you know, and it's just him apologizing and retaliating and we're just hitting him with the hard questions. He's like, "What's up, bro?" Like, I mean, so here we go.
Watching over the past 2 nights was very difficult. Me facing my past behaviors, some of which are embarrassing and that I regret. And I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology.
I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology. You think? You think? So like clearly he's not in jail. I don't think there's any active court cases or lawsuits happening. I'm pretty sure he probably wouldn't be on camera talking about it. So it's all of these alleged, yes, it was inappropriate, but kind of like, it's crazy. It's a situation. It's a situation for him to find himself in, and I'm not supporting him in any way. I think it's utterly disgusting, the whole situation. But this is where we're at, and this is the world we live in. This is the world we live in, and that's the world that we lived in back then. And it's an interesting excuse he has. It's an interesting excuse. And so this is something else that comes out in the podcast interview, in the docuseries. Dan Schneider and his fucking chubby ass, his nasty cheeseburger. You know for a fact that Dan Schneider created the Good Burger universe because he was just obsessed with eating cheeseburgers. This chubby, greasy producer, Dan Schneider, would sit in his chair, and anytime a female would walk by, he'd ask them for a massage. Like, hey, can you come? What do we do? Hey, can you come rub? I got a kink. I've been working on this Amanda Show bit for 16 minutes now. I need you to please come rub my shoulder. And this is what he had to say about it.
It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation. And even additionally, I apologize to the people who were walking around Video Village or wherever they happened, because there were lots of people there who witnessed it who also may have felt uncomfortable. So I owe them an apology as well.
And so then his biggest defense system is blaming Nickelodeon. He doesn't say it directly, but in hindsight, he is blaming Nickelodeon for the jokes that we are all putting together and realizing now today for being put on air in the first place. He thinks that if these episodes are running in syndication and on streaming, I mean, just listen.
Every one of those jokes was written for a kid audience because kids thought they were funny and only funny. Okay? Now we have some adults looking back at them 20 years later through their lens, and they're looking at them and they're saying, oh, I don't think that's appropriate for a kid show. And I have no problem with that. If that's how anyone feels, let's cut those jokes out of the show.
Well, okay, but here's the issue. The issue, Dan, is that if that was the case, and that was what the course correct action that Nickelodeon was going to take, we would only have about 12 episodes of iCarly. We'd probably only have about 3 episodes of Drake and Josh, and we'd probably only have about maybe half a season of The Amanda Show, and everything else would need to be cut, okay? You cannot tell me that when you do something like this to a 12, 13, 14-year-old girl's face, and everyone else on the cast is behind the camera laughing, one of them yells, "It's a shot!" Like, and no one knows what that means because we're all literally like pre-teenagers and we've just got 2 years of experience under our belts. We don't actually know how the world works yet. So we don't know what that means. We don't get the joke. We think it's our job. Dan's laughing at it. We should laugh at it too. It's hilarious. But in hindsight, maybe we should have cut it 20 years ago. Maybe we should have cut that exact part out 20 years ago. And don't get me started on the whole weird foot thing. There's this sub weird foot I don't know if it's Dan with the foot fetish. I don't know if it's someone else on the team. I don't know if Brian Peck was involved at that point. But the feet are there. The Nickelodeon logo was a foot, I think. Like, there's just a thing with Dan Schneider shows and feet on the camera. I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. Obviously, Nickelodeon doesn't have a word to say about it. They have just come out and been like, yeah, we'll figure it out and let you guys know. And so now they're all scrambling, and it's just, we knew about this, and it's coming back to the point now, like, here's the ultimate question, right? Should there be an expiration date on children's TV? Now, we might not have known this back when shows like The Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, Nickelodeon, Dan Schneider era was happening, but now we know that the pace and the movement of advancement in language, comedy, jokes, society, the internet, social media, TikTok, the next trend, whether the phone is shaped like a brick or a pear or any other type of fruit, like those things change at an instant. So the question should be, should children's TV that involves actual people, not the cartoon, whatever, do whatever with the cartoons, but like the actual real life iCarly's, Victorious, Sam and Cat, real life shows that involve real life children, right? They should have an expiration date. They should not be put through syndication. They should not be left on streaming indefinitely. They should not be allowed to be re-uploaded to YouTube or any type of public forum. There should be strict laws. If there are strict laws about what an adult can do with a child in a room alone, and if certain specific things happen, that adult will be arrested and that child will be affected negatively for the rest of their lives. So why isn't it the same thing for TV? If these shows are now affecting these female actresses, right? The one girl's got a whole podcast. She's got a whole industry to bring down the corrupt of childhood acting in Hollywood and the pedophiles and everything else going on. And so, like, if it's fucked them up that bad, then why aren't we making strives to change it? Put an expiration date on it so that, or make them a certain age, or there's got to be some form of protection for the kids, whether that's a parent with them at all times, a security guard, whatever. Like, I don't know if it needs to be a physical protection, but maybe just a law or rule or something so that this does not continue to happen. Listen, it's one thing, and even though it's terrible as well, but it's one thing to have the Harvey Weinsteins and the consenting adults of the world get into some messy situations when it comes to getting on the screen and their abilities to act and get chosen for the role. But when it comes to the Drakes and the Amandas and the Jennettes and everyone else on the crew and the sets of these shows goes, then there should be nothing to talk about. There's no fact, there's no point or reason why any of these situations should have happened. Like putting the pickle through the glory hole, doing the shot on the face, the feet, the Amanda Show, the rumors, like she's, I think, in a conservatorship too. Like, it's just a situation that no one wants to really be a part of. And it's their fault. It's their fault. No one else said anything. No one else mentioned to cut it out. No one else did it. So it's okay. Me asking them for massages is A-okay. And everything else is just kind of, it's hearsay, and I'm sorry, and I owe a lot of people apologies. And that's where we're at. Listen, my parents tried to do it. They tried to get me into it. I auditioned. I'm pretty sure I auditioned. I remember they took me to it was a hotel room. The hallway were lined with chairs. We sat in the chairs. We got called in. I had to read the lines on the paper. They said, "Thanks, kid. We'll see you later." And that was it. And I'm pretty sure, obviously, I'm still here. I didn't get it, right? It was my first audition. I obviously didn't get it. Pretty sure it was down to me. I almost did. But then two kids named Zach and Cody got it. So, it's fine. My parents tried, and I didn't make the cut. And so, or maybe I just made that up, because apparently, according to Sandy, every time I see Sandy now, she tells me a different lie about my childhood that I didn't know before. And so now this week's lie, everyone in the family knows that the man who built the log cabin that we lived in as a child, my dad, my mom, they had a log cabin built. I was pregnant. The guy who built it, his name was Levi. That's what they told us. That's what my stepfather remembers. That's what my sister knows. That's what I know. That's what Meg knows. But apparently now here we are 31 years later, and Sandy's dropped the news on us that his name was Sam and that his mentor's name was Levi, and we all got it wrong. She doesn't believe I got stung in the eye by the bee. She's lying to me about my name. We didn't know other details that happened. There's things that are coming to light now with Sandy Dunkel. I'm not sure. I might have to get a DNA test done. I might have to call up Maury, because, that's the only way. We need Maury to say, Sandy, you are the mother. And guess what? He's never done that before. Has there ever been an instance of the Maury show where he's opened an envelope and we're trying to figure out if someone's the mother of a child? Now listen, I've got an 1.5-hour videotape of everything from the weeks leading up to my birth, aka my baby shower, all the way up to the C-section. We've got the whole thing on film. So if you want to watch it and try to figure out whether or not I'm the son of Sandy, it's, we could watch that tape as evidence, but I think it'd be more fun to have Maury do one of the very first mother-son DNA test result readings. We can go on the show. We can make a bit out of it. It'll be good for publicity. It'll be good for them. It'll be good for us. I think we should do it. We'll do the actual DNA test just to make sure Sandy is my mother, just in case there's any other lies or undisclosed information that they've given us, And so we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out from there. And so along with this week, HBO dropped another bomb on us. Not only was Quiet on Set a viral sensation, we got not one, but 2 trailers, dude. 2 trailers for House of the Dragon Season 2. We got the Team Black trailer and we got the Team Green trailer. Now, let's just hold some shit down right now, okay? We're Team Black. You see the colors, you know what I mean? We got the Team Black on our side. We are all for the rightful queen, her uncle, aka her husband, lover, husband, father of one of her children, I think. And we've got Viserys, we've got the Pirate King, we've got other Chippy, we've got their kids that are coming on the dragon. We've got a team of OGs over here. Now listen, did we lose that one kid? Did we lose the kid at the end of last season? Yes, but honestly, he was the weakest link. He was our weakest link, and now we're a team of strong, nothing but strong, badass motherfuckers. And so, Team Black all the way. Listen, it's better to fuck your uncle than it is to fuck your best friend's dying father, okay? Team Green, what do they got? They've got like the Damon one. They got like the wannabe with the eye patch. You think you're the only sexy guy with long blonde hair in the castle? Like, freak off, okay? Allison's not a good queen. Her silly little Justin Bieber of a son isn't going to last long on the throne. Like, let's get him out. Team Green, like, team puke. You know what's green? Gross. Puke, So we got 2 trailers from HBO. Awesome the way they did that. Each of them was a little bit different. Each of them was kind of the same in its own aspect. And it made all of us excited, babe. So you better believe, like, listen, the war's here. We're going to get action this season. We're going to get death. We're going to get dragons. We're going to get amazing one-liners from frickin' Damon. We're going to get so many great and incredible and shocking and surprising and gory and just overall badass moments from season 2 of House of the Dragon. I can't wait. I mean, here we'll play a little snippet here,
Our terms are very simple. Renounce the false king and bend the knee to the king, or your house burns.
So I'm talking hell yeah. Like, let's go. Season 2, House of the Dragon, I think like June or July, like in the next few months here, June or July over the summer, episode 1 drops. And you better believe we've been talking about it since last year, okay? How many clips on this podcast? How many clips from Carlos? How many clips from 280 Plus? How many times have we said it? Recap and record will be back. That's how we started. That's how we'll end. That's how, listen, did we try to veer off, and go another direction with the whole, dating, love, reality, Love is Blind, F-Boy Island? Yeah. Did it work out? Meh. Did we get a better season in season 6? We already talked about it and covered it? Yeah. But we're going back to the roots. We're going to do House of the Dragon season 2. We'll see what happens after that. But you better believe the Recap and Record podcast is coming back. And so look out for that. We're going to have more guests this season. We're probably going to kick off like episode 1 with a guest, maybe 2, just maybe a panel of people. Who knows who we're going to get? Who knows how crazy it's going to be? But if you're not subscribed, Recap and Record on YouTube, your podcast outlets, Facebook, Instagram, we've got pages for it all. Los is constantly tagging that account. Recap and Record on all platforms. You're gonna not want to miss this. You're gonna not want to miss it. That's the wrong way to say that entire sentence, but I said it anyways. So, man, I'm excited. These 2 trailers are crazy. The queens are both crazy. And we're gonna get nothing but dragon fire left and right. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what the season has in store. HBO, House of the Dragon season 2. Let's frickin' go. Here's my latest obsession. I don't know about you guys, but these have been a thing for a while. But all I'm saying is my birthday, okay? My birthday is in May. So you've got about a month left. You've got about a month and a half to figure it out. But this is what I want for my birthday. I've been scrolling on TikTok and this is all I see every other day. And no one's ever bought me one. And I want it so bad. I don't know why. I don't know why I want one of these, but it just speaks to me, okay? To know that someone went through the trouble to just give these guys all of my personal details and then they do this with the information. It fascinates me. This is what I want. So if you're a friend of mine or you don't know what to get me for my birthday, this is it.
You are the best at the mouth. You are the best at the mouth. Got you.
And little buddy.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Hell yeah.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Are they doing a dance? Yep. Get it. Yeah. Get it. Hey. That's what I want. I want someone to give me one of these videos for my birthday. Send them all my information, then send me the video. You'll make my day. It'll be the best birthday gift on the damn planet. And so it's one of those things. This is going to be one of the quickest bits ever. But I'm telling you, man, get one of the, and then if you do get one, not for me, but for someone else in your life, you can get one of my cameos too. You can go to Cameo and search for the What Are We Doing podcast, or you could go to wadpod.com/cameo. It'll take you right there. It's only $3 on top of one of these. It's a slam dunk. You'll be the best gift giver of the year. Okay. wadpod.com/cameo. I'm not going to be as good as these guys, but fuck it. I'll print out your picture. I'll kiss it. I'll draw on the board. I'll do a dance. I'll do exactly what they do. I'm not going to do it as good. And I don't have backup dancers or like multiple people. It's just going to be me, but I'll do something similar. Like, let's go. Let's rock and roll. So I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to get one of those for my birthday. So let's make it happen. To all my friends and family out there, if you're listening, that's what I want. So when you ask me, I'm just going to tell you to watch this episode like I always do. You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, that's been another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. My name's Levi McCurdy, and if you've been rocking with me thus far, please, if you haven't done so, hit that big, red, beautiful subscribe button down below. Hit the thumbs up on this episode. Hit the thumbs up on this clip. Hit the thumbs up on this short. Wherever you're watching this content at, I need you to support it. Hit share, and then hit enter or submit. It's free. It's done. It's simple, and it goes beyond what you can imagine as far as support, feelings, positivity, happiness, everything that we need here at the What Are We Doing podcast, you provide when you click those thumbs up, when you click the like button, when you click share, when you click whatever button you can to support this podcast. And it's never going to stop. I'm never going to stop posting. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me. If you haven't done so again, and you need to update your wireless plan and stop paying those ridiculous carriers, you're going to go to Visible. You're going to go to wadpod.com/visible, and you're going to get $20 off a month on your plan. Thanks to us at the What Are We Doing podcast. It's a service MKBHD uses amongst millions of other influencers, podcasters, and people just like you. Listen, I get it. You're paying $80 to $90 to $100 a month per line because you get to get a new phone every and you only have to pay taxes. But it's still twice, if not 3 times as much as every other carrier. Go to wadpod.com/visible, and I promise you're going to save so much money a month. My name's Levi McCurdy. This has been another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. Peace out, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.